R.W. Dawson have been informed by Special Agent R.C. McGuire of the Naval Investigative Service that I am suspected of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and conduct on becoming a United States Marine in the matter of Private William T. Santiago. I have also been advised I have a right to remain silent and make no statement at all.
Any statement I do make can be used against me in a trial by court-martial or other judicial or administrative proceeding. I have the right to consult with a lawyer prior to further questioning.
I am presently assigned to Rifle Security Company Windward, 2nd Platoon Delta, now based Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
I am a PFC in the United States Marine Corps, assigned to Marine Rifle Security Company Windward, 2nd Platoon Delta. I will have been in the Marine Corps 10 months as of August.
I entered Private Santiago's barracks room on the evening of 7 July at or about 23:50. I was accompanied by PFC Loudon Downey.
I was accompanied by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson.
We tied his hands and feet with rope.
We tied Private Santiago's hands and feet with rope, and we forced a piece of cloth into his mouth.
We placed duct tape on his eyes and mouth.
I have read this 2-page statement that Special Agent McGuire has prepared for me at my request. As we discussed its contents, I have been allowed to make all changes and corrections, initializing those changes and corrections.
These statements are true and factual to the best of my knowledge.
Hey, Danny, you know what I just saw?
Sam, I'm late.
There was a lady from Captain Bronski's office walking around the halls.
She's stealing things?
No.
What's the problem?
Danny, ordinarily, when the Judge Advocate General sends a lawyer to talk to the lawyers, it means somebody screwed up.
Have you done anything wrong?
No.
You sure?
Yeah. I think so. I don't know. Look, I've been tired lately. Hey, do me a favor, would you?
Sure.
If she says anything about DeMattis, you know, the engineer, my guy who was littering in the Admiral's tulip garden, cover for me, would you?
Sure.
Yeah?
I don't know what you're talking about, but sure, no problem.
Danny!
Sam, I'm late for a plea bargain. I'm representing an ensign who bought and smoked $10 worth of oregano.
What, he thought it was dope?
What's his defense?
His defense is, I'm a schmuck.
Actually, I smoked some of the stuff. It wasn't that bad.
Danny! You're not concerned.
Oh, please. What's he going to be charged with? Possession of a condiment?
No! I'm talking about the lady from T-Jazz.
Sam, my softball team's playing Bethesda Medical tomorrow. I can't be concerned with anything right now. I'll see you at lunch.
Danny!
Captain Whitaker? I'm Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway, sir.
Isaac Whitaker, come on in.
Thank you, Captain. I appreciate your seeing me on such short notice.
Bronsky said it was important, something about reopening a case.
Yes, sir.
Bronsky's an old friend.
He speaks very highly of you, sir.
Crapola.
Yes, sir.
I've seen you around here, haven't I? You work across the yard at Appellate.
My desk is at Appellate, but actually I work directly for the Office of the Judge Advocate General as a special investigator in internal affairs.
Of course, now I know how I know you. Your footprint's been tattooed on my behind any number of times.
I don't know that I'd put it quite that way.
You were the one who recycled those 14B misdemeanors last winter.
Yes, I believe that was me.
14B misdemeanors, drunk and disorderly. We had them closed.
The blue copies of the charge sheet weren't filed to division with the IC1.
Who gives a damn?
There are rules, sir. I'm sure you understand.
You had these guys working Christmas Day, filling out charge sheets longhand. Christmas Day, Commander.
It was in the interest of justice, sir.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course, Captain.
Are you here to bust anyone's ass?
Absolutely not, sir. No, not at all. Only if necessary.
Fine then. What can I do for you?
I'd like to request a favor.
Good luck.
2 prisoners are being held in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. They pleaded to murder, to conspiracy to commit, and conduct unbecoming. I petition JAG to deny the guilty pleas.
What's the problem? Did someone misspell conspiracy?
No, sir. They confessed to murder at 3 in the morning in a 19-minute hearing without counsel. It's my sense that there is much more to this than what's written in the division report. Which brings me to my request.
Yes.
It's not a request so much as a recommendation.
Yes.
I feel the attorney assigned to this case should have a certain energy, a real go-getter. Someone who possesses not only the legal skill, but a familiarity with the inner workings of the military, and a singular passion for justice. In short, Captain, if I may be so bold, I'd like to suggest myself.
Imagine my surprise.
I brought a letter of recommendation from Captain Bronski.
You work for TJAG. You're a special investigator. Why do you want to get mixed up in grunt work again?
I don't consider it grunt work, sir.
It's going to be a 10-minute plea bargain and a week of paperwork.
I would look forward to it with relish, sir.
Do you always talk like this?
I'm anxious to make a good impression.
Relax.
Yes, sir.
So you want to take on trial work again?
On with a vengeance, sir.
How many cases did you handle when you were with the department?
Altogether,
Yes.
6.
And how'd you do?
From what perspective?
Your clients.
Not well.
Ah.
Those cases were lost on their merits, sir.
I'm sorry, Isaac. This just came for you.
Thank you. This is Lieutenant Commander Galloway.
Really,
How do you do?
really enjoyed last Christmas.
That'll be all.
So, what do you say?
Commander, may I call you Joanne?
Yes, please. Joe.
Joe. You seem like a fairly harmless, neurotic person,
I appreciate that.
and I'd like to help you out, but there are 2 things preventing you. The first is, despite your excellent credentials, it would appear that as a litigator, you suck.
Yes,
And
but I'm
the
sure it's...
second is, that JAG has already detailed a lawyer.
They did?
You must have convinced him it was pretty important. JAG never cares who I assign in this district.
All right.
Tough break. Nice talking to you. I'll see you around.
Captain,
Isaac.
Isaac, would you mind if I met with the attorney just for a few minutes?
We're having a staff meeting at 1500. I'll be handing out assignments then.
Excellent. Thank you.
Try not to make anyone nervous.
Yes, sir.
See you then.
Thank you, Isaac. Oh, Isaac,
Joe.
what's the name of the attorney?
Daniel Caffey.
Officer on deck 10, ho!
They're giving you a lawyer. They're gonna move you up to Washington, D.C., and they're gonna give you a lawyer who's gonna ask you some questions. I want you to remember something about these lawyers. They don't care about anything. They don't care about honor or loyalty. They don't care about the United States Marine Corps. They don't even care about you. They're clowns. That's why. So help me God, they're the only ones who can save you right now. I want you boys to be smart. Talk to the lawyer. That's all.
At ease.
I'd settle for the OTA. It's his 4th UA. You're not going to do any better than that.
What about a motion to suppress?
On what grounds?
Grounds. That's where my strategy begins to fall apart.
Take the OTH.
Excuse me, sorry I'm late.
I'm sure you've got a good excuse.
No, I just didn't really care enough about this meeting to be on time.
He's kidding. Commander Galloway, this is Lieutenant Caffey.
How do you do?
You're a JG.
I beg your pardon?
I wrote a 17-page memo petitioning division, and they assigned a junior grade.
Yes.
Did I miss something?
Commander Galloway's from TJAG.
Oh, whatever Sam did, it wasn't his fault. He's been tired. How's that?
Thanks so much.
Sam's pretty sure his little girl's about to say her first word any day now.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she just looks like she has something to say.
She's 14 months old. What does she have to say?
We've got a little pool going in the office, $10. Pick a word off the grid.
What's left?
Rosebud.
I'll pass. Cappy, this is yours. You've been detailed by JAG.
Detail to do what?
Detailed to handle that. Everybody listen up. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. A PSC named William Santiago writes a letter to his senator claiming he knows the name of a Marine who he illegally fired a round from his weapon over the fence line. Santiago ends the letter by saying that he wants a transfer off the base in exchange for the identity of the felon.
What's a fence line?
Sam?
It's a big wall that separates the good guys from the bad guys.
Teacher's pet.
Gentlemen,
Santiago writes a letter saying he'll reveal some guy's name. Do we know who?
Lance Corporal Harold Dawson, his squad leader.
Uh-oh.
Dawson, by the way, claims it wasn't an illegal shooting, that he was engaged at his post by a Cuban sentry and was returning fire. The fence line shooting, however, is absolutely beside the point.
What is the point?
Santiago's dead.
What happened?
Dawson and another member of his squad, a PFC, allowed him down. He'd break into his room, tie him up, and stick a rag down his throat. You'll see on page 5, the attending physician says the rag is treated with some kind of toxin.
They poisoned the rag?
Not according to them.
What do they say?
Not much. Commander Galloway looked at their statements and had them reviewed. They're being brought up here to Washington in the morning, and on Thursday at 0600, you're catching the transport down to Cuba for the day to see what you can see. You'll report to the barracks CO, Colonel Nathan Jessup. Know anything about him?
Should I?
He's the biggest hotshot colonel in the North American Command. He's got his eyes set on the National Security Council.
Thank you. If Jessup has anything good to say about the defense, it will help. Any questions?
Was that 0600 in the morning, sir?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Lieutenant Cappy, have you ever been in a courtroom?
Commander,
Joe.
Joe, if this goes to court, they won't need a lawyer. They'll need a priest.
No, they'll need a lawyer.
Isaac, I want to say for the record that this is the least fun I've ever had at one of your staff meetings.
Captain, there are 2 defendants. JAG only assigned them 1 attorney.
Yeah, well, there's sworn confessions. I'm sure Cappy can handle a plea bargain himself. He's closed 39 cases in 6 months.
One more, and I got a set of steak knives.
It just seems to me that 6 months down the line, appellant is going to look at this and open it up again on the grounds of insufficient representation.
No offense taken, if you were wondering.
Having 1 attorney represent both defendants might seem strange to an unusually thorough investigator.
This is Jack's assignment, not mine.
Actually, you have the authority to appoint co-counsel.
Joe, it's an open and shut.
I think Christmas is a time when people should be with their loved ones. Don't you, Captain?
Sam,
Me?
work with Cappy on this.
Doing what?
Various administrative, you know, things. Sit second chair.
So, in other words, I have no responsibilities whatsoever.
That's right.
My kind of case.
Now listen, you two, this is important. You have some leverage on this, but not much.
What kind of leverage?
This letter that Santiago wrote wasn't the first.
In fact, it was the 12th. He put in for transfer 6 times in 8 months. Nobody was listening. This last letter was just a last-ditch effort.
Thank you, Commander.
Joe.
Do we have the letters?
Yeah.
Am I right in assuming they don't paint a flattering picture of Marine Corps life in Guantanamo Bay?
That's right.
Am I also right in assuming that if the letters as well as the assault were kept as quiet as possible, that the government might feel predisposed to offer a degree of leniency to the defendants?
Right again.
Steak Knife City.
Now look, don't get cute down there. The Marines at Guantanamo are fanatical
About what?
about being Marines.
Dear Senator, my name is PFC William T. Santiago. I am a Marine stationed at Marine Barracks Windward, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. I'm writing to inform you of my problems and to ask for your help. Wednesday, May 18th, we were out on a PT run. I've fallen out on runs before for several reasons, such as feeling dizzy or nauseated. And on the 18th, we were running and I'd fallen back some 20 or 30 feet, going down a rocky, unstable hill. My sergeant deliberately grabbed me and pushed me down the hill. Then I saw all black, and the last thing I remember was hitting the deck. I was brought to the hospital, where I was told I just had heat exhaustion, and was explained to by the doctor that my body has trouble with the hot sun, and I hyperventilate. I was put in remedial physical training and punished by filling sandbags every day after I stand my post on the fence line. I ask you to help me. Please, sir, I just need to be transferred out of RSC.
Sir, Lieutenant Colonel Markinson, Lieutenant Kendrick to see you.
Thank you, Tom.
Good morning, Colonel.
Matthew, John, have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Gumball?
No, thanks.
John? Gumball?
Thank you. No, sir.
$1,000. It's already hot enough out there to melt the brass right off your collar. I just had a Navy guy in here, said we were lucky. After all, it's a dry heat. Dry heat. It's 107 degrees outside. How am I supposed to feel about that? Matthew, you've been here the longest. Just about as hot as it gets, or am I actually trapped in hell?
Well, this is about as hot as it's been since maybe '84, Colonel.
Is that right?
As I recall.
84 was pretty bad, was it?
Oh, got up to 119.
Capering, half in smoke and half in fire. Moby Dick. John, when I quote Melville, you don't need to nod your head up and down like you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to regard you as less of a man because you're not well read.
Thank you, sir.
I mean that.
I appreciate that, sir.
Sure you won't have gumball.
Thank you, sir.
119 Fahrenheit.
Yes, sir.
I bet you had Marines passing out right and left.
Actually, no, the men were all right.
Nobody passed out? Got dizzy? No dehydration?
Not that I recall.
Impressive.
Yes, sir.
Jonathan, you know why those Marines didn't pass out in '84? Even though it was 119 degrees by Colonel Markinson's reckoning. You know why they stayed on the job?
Why, sir?
Because that's what they were fucking trained to do.
Yes, sir.
Who the fuck is PFC William T. Santiago?
Good morning. My name's Joanne Galloway.
Ma'am, Lance Corporal Dawson, Marine Barracks Rifle Security Company, Windward, ma'am.
Private First Class Loudon Downey, ma'am.
Stand at ease. I just wanted to stop in and see if there was anything you needed. I work for the Navy JAG Corps. I'm the one who had you guys brought up here. I just wanted to see if you had any questions you want to ask. I'm sure you're both pretty confused and frightened. And so if there's anything I can help you with, or any questions you might have,
Permission to speak, ma'am.
go ahead.
I got some Spider-Mans and some Batmans sitting in my footlocker, ma'am. Somebody will dog them for sure if they're not secured.
You think this is a joke?
Ma'am, no ma'am.
How about you, Lance Corporal? Is this a joke?
No, ma'am, it's not a joke, ma'am.
I apologize to the commander, ma'am. I didn't mean nothing. About the books, ma'am, didn't mean nothing.
You were read your Article 31 rights. Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Say you understand them.
I understand them, ma'am.
MP! Lance Corporal, I'm going to speak to Private Downey alone for a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you take Lance Corporal Dawson into a holding room, please?
All right, Commander. Let's go. Hey!
Ma'am, permission to be dismissed.
You're dismissed. Hi. Your only living relative over the age of 18 is Ginny Miller, your aunt on your mother's side, is that correct? Stand at ease. Ginny Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
She hasn't been contacted yet. Would you like me to contact her? I'll take care of that for you. Private, do you know why you're here?
This is where the guard told me to stand, ma'am.
Loudon, may I call you Loudon?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know where you are? Do you know why you were arrested?
Willie died, ma'am.
Why? Was it an accident, or did you mean to do it?
Ma'am?
Why did you want to hurt Santiago?
It was a code red, ma'am.
What's a code red? Loudon?
Ma'am, I don't need those comic books. You can have them if you like, ma'am.
What's a code red?
Permission
permission to speak, ma'am?
Sure.
Are you my lawyer?
No. I'm a lawyer, but I'm not. I won't be representing you.
Lieutenant Colonel Markinson told us to speak to our lawyer, ma'am. That's what he told us to do.
At ease.
All right. One down, man on first. Let's go for two. Hit a few out to Sherby. Get your glove down, Sherby. You gotta get your glove down. Pick up some dirt with that ball. Let's do it again. Man on first, one down. Let's go for two.
Excuse me.
1 second. I need you to trust me, Sherby. If you keep your eyes open while the ball is coming toward you, your chances of catching the ball increase by a factor of 10. You want to suit up? We need all the help we can get.
No, thank you. I can't throw and catch things.
That's too bad.
I'm here to talk to you about Lance Corporal Dawson and PFC Downey.
Those names sound like they should mean something to me, but it just not clicking in.
Harold Dawson and Loudon Downey.
If you could just give me one more hint, I could...
Dawson, Downey, your clients?
The Cuba thing. Yes. Dawson and Downey. Right. I don't know for a second there, but... Lance Corporal Dawson
And PFC Downey.
I'm sorry. I've forgotten your name.
Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway.
I've done something wrong, haven't I?
Yes. I was wondering why two guys have been in jail since this morning, while their lawyer is outside hitting a ball.
We need the practice.
That wasn't funny.
It's a little funny.
Have you read the IC1?
You mean like actually read it?
No, I mean have you read it in the abstract?
No, it's on my desk very close to the top of the pile.
Lieutenant, would you feel very insulted if I recommended to your supervisor that he assign different counsel?
Why?
I'm not sure how to say this without possibly hurting your feelings, but I don't think you're fit to handle this defense.
You don't even know me. Normally it takes someone hours to discover I'm not fit to handle a defense. Oh, come on. That was damn funny.
I do know you. I know you went to Harvard Law on a Navy scholarship. And I know you're probably just treading water here for the 3 years you gotta serve. Just kind of laying low till you can get out and get a real job. And that's fine, and I won't tell anyone. But it's my sense that if this case is handled in the same fast food, slick-ass Persian Bazaar manner with which you seem to handle everything else, something is gonna get missed. And I wouldn't be doing my duty if I allowed Dawson and Downey to spend more time in jail than necessary, because their attorney had predetermined the path of least resistance.
I'm sexually aroused, Commander. You're kidding.
I don't think your clients murdered anyone.
Well, we'll just have to take their word for it, won't we?
I mean, I don't think there was any intent.
What are you basing this on?
Instinct.
Instinct. The doctor's report says that Santiago died of asphyxiation brought on by acute lactic acidosis, and that the nature of the acidosis strongly suggests poisoning. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds pretty bad.
The doctor's wrong.
What a relief. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to use the liar, liar, pants on fire defense.
Good one. That was funny.
Thank you. Look, rest assured I'm completely on top of the situation with Dawson and Donnelly.
Downey.
Downey.
Right. I'll speak to your supervisor.
I understand. You go straight up Pennsylvania Avenue, it's the big white house with the pillars in front.
Thank you.
I don't think you'll have much luck, though.
And why not?
I was detailed by JAG, remember? Somebody over there is under the impression that I'm a good lawyer. So, while I appreciate your interest and admire your enthusiasm, I think I can pretty much cover things myself at this point.
Do you know what a code red is?
No.
What a pity.
I'm appalled, sir.
You're appalled?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty strong language, Matthew. I mean, cool off or you work yourself into a rather. You're appalled. Santiago breaks the chain of command, reports to a civilian organization, tells tales on another Marine, another member of his unit, another member of his squad, for Christ's sake. What the hell is going on over at Windward, Matthew?
Colonel, I think it might be more appropriate if this discussion were held in private.
Are you suggesting that the fault lies with Lieutenant Kendrick?
Executive Office Windward is one of the most stressful positions in this hemisphere. No one knows that better than I do. Lieutenant Kendrick doesn't have half the experience it takes to command that
I
wall.
certainly beg your pardon, sir, but I will not take the blame for Private Santiago.
I'm not talking about Private Santiago. I'm talking about Private Santiago and Private Barnes and Corporal McNally and Corporal Eastman and Gunnery Sergeant Hughes. You're doing
My
something.
methods of leadership were brought me to
Don't
this base.
interrupt me. I'm still your superior officer.
And I'm yours, Matthew.
Colonel, I've made this suggestion before and I will make it again. Move Lieutenant Kendrick to the leeward side of the base where there's an ocean between our perimeter and the enemy. Let him cut his teeth there. And for Christ's sake, transfer Santiago out of here before he gets his ass kicked.
Transfer, Santiago.
Right away. Now, sir.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I suppose that's the thing to do. Yeah, wait, I got a better idea. Let's transfer the whole squad off the base. Yeah, we better do that. Second thought, Windward, the whole Windward division, let's transfer them off the base. John, go on out there, get the boys down off the fence, would you? They're packing their bags. Tom, get the president on the phone. We're surrendering our position in Cuba.
Sir?
Yeah, don't call the president. Maybe that's the wrong thing to do. Maybe we should consider this for a second. Maybe instead of surrendering the fight because the Marine made a mistake, maybe we should train Santiago. What do you think? I'm just spitballing, but maybe we as officers have an obligation to the country to see that the men charged with its security are trained professionals. Maybe we have that obligation to other members of the Corps. Yes, I'm certain I once read something like that. See, now I'm trying to think about how I'd feel if a Marine got hurt or killed because the PFC in my command didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And now I'm thinking about how other members of his unit might feel putting their lives in the hands of a man they can't count on. And this brief meditation has brought me around to thinking that your suggestion of transferring Private Santiago off the base, while expeditious, certainly painless, might not be, in a manner of speaking, the American way. Kendrick stays at Windward. Santiago stays on the wall.
Colonel, that's a mistake. The Santiago incident isn't going to go away all by itself.
Thank you, Tom. Matthew, I believe I will have a word with you alone for just a moment. Jonathan, you're dismissed. Yeah, why don't you and I have dinner at the Old Club 1930?
Thank you. I'd be delighted, sir.
Matthew, sit, please.
Thank you, sir.
What do you think of Kendrick?
He's a good man.
Yeah, I think he's kind of a weasel myself.
Yes, sir.
But he's an awfully good officer. And in the end, we see eye to eye on the most efficient way to run a Marine Corps unit. We're in the business of saving lives, Matthew. With every degree that we allow ourselves to move off the mark of perfection as officers, more people die. That's a responsibility I take pretty seriously. Because I absolutely believe that simply taking a Marine who's not yet up to the job and packing him off to another assignment is the same as sending a kid into the jungle with a weapon that backfires. Matthew, sit down. I'm younger than you are, Matthew, and I've surpassed you in the ranks, and if that's a source of tension or embarrassment for you, well, I don't give a shit. I'm in the business of saving lives, Colonel Markinson. Don't you ever question my orders in front of another officer.
Officer on deck, 10, who?
Hi.
Sir, Lance Corporal Dawson, sir.
Someone hasn't been working and playing well with others, Harold.
Yes, sir.
Prime First Class Loud and Dowdy, sir!
I'm Daniel Caffey. I'm your attorney. This is Sam Weinberg. He's with the AC Nielsen Company. He's going to talk to you about viewer preferences in the Caribbean Command. You can sit down. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to call me sir. Is this your signature?
Sir, yes, sir!
You certainly don't have to do it twice in one sentence. Who cares if you guys like baseball?
Sir.
You don't have to call me sir. I was just asking if you like baseball.
Sir.
What's a code red?
Sir, a code red is a disciplinary engagement.
I don't understand.
Sir, a Marine falls out of line, it's up to the men in his unit to get him back on track.
These disciplinary engagements occur often?
Yes, sir.
What's a garden variety code red?
Sir.
Harold, you say sir and I turn around and look for my father. Daniel, Danny, Dan, Caffey. This can be fun, you know? It doesn't have to be unpleasant. Garden variety, typical. What's a basic code red?
Sir, a Marine has refused to bathe on a regular basis. The men in his squad would give him a GI shower.
What's that?
Scrub brushes, Brillo pads, steel wool.
Beautiful. The disciplinary engagement. This attack on Santiago was a disciplinary engagement?
Yes, sir.
Do you ever talk?
Lieutenant, the private will answer any direct question you ask him.
Swell. It says in the report you denied putting poison on the rag. What was it you were going to do?
Sir,
What was this code red?
we were gonna shave his hair, sir. We were just gonna shave his hair.
Well, all of a sudden,
We saw blood coming out of his mouth, sir. We pulled the tape off his mouth and pulled out the gag.
was there more blood?
All down his face, sir. Then Lance Corporal Dawson called the ambulance.
Did anyone see you call the ambulance?
No, sir.
Were you there when the ambulance got there?
Yes, sir. That's when we were taken under arrest, sir.
I want to tell you guys about something called attorney-client privilege. It means that you can say anything you want to us in here, and we can't repeat it without your permission. It's against the law. We took an oath. You took the oath, didn't you, Sam? Yeah. Sam took the oath.
My fingers were crossed.
Sam. You took the oath. So you can tell us. I need you to tell us. Harold, did you assault Santiago with the intent of killing him?
No, sir.
What was your intent?
To give Private Santiago a code red, sir.
Why?
To train him, sir.
To train him to do what?
Train him to think of his unit before himself, sir. Train him to think of the code.
What's the code?
Unit, corps, God, country.
I beg your pardon?
Unit, corps, God, country.
That's what you're supposed to fight for?
Sam, what's it matter what they're supposed to fight for?
Never mind.
Unit, corps, God, country! That's our code, sir!
Right. We'll be back. Is there anything you need? Books, paper, cigarettes, ham sandwich?
Sir, no thank you, sir.
Harold, there's a concept I think you better start warming up to.
Sir.
I'm the only friend you've got.
At ease.
Dan Caffey.
Smiling Jack Ross.
Welcome to the big time.
Don't flatter yourself.
I hope for Dawson and Downey's sake you practice law better than you play softball.
Unfortunately for Dawson and Downey, I don't do anything better than I play softball. What are we talking about?
They plead guilty to manslaughter, I dropped to conspiracy, and conduct unbecoming. 20 years, they're out in 12.
They called the ambulance, Jack.
I don't care if they call the Avon lady. They killed a Marine.
Says who?
I have a doctor who says he's sure.
Remarkable conclusion to reach, given that no poison showed in the autopsy.
Are you a doctor?
No, but it shouldn't be hard to round some up. It'll only take me 4 to 6 weeks. Meantime, we'll move for postponement. How's that?
Don't fuck around with this one, Caffey. I can recommend 11.
Do you know what a code red is?
Where do you get this shit? Gomer Pyle?
A Marine steps out of line. His room's a little messy. His hair's too long. He breaks the chain of command and informs on another Marine. Apparently, it's up to the men in his unit to give him a little punishment.
Involuntary. They won't do more than 10.
They kick him around, or they shove him in a shower and scrub him down with steel wool. They shave his head.
I can't go lower than involuntary.
Tell me, from a public relations standpoint, what's the worst thing about this case? That these code reds go on all the time and no one ever reports them? Or that it was a Puerto Rican that got killed?
Involuntary, 8 to 10.
7. Parole in 28 months.
That is out of the question.
Extra, extra! Read all about it!
You are not intimidating me, pal mine.
No? I thought it was working.
You want 7 years? I need more on Code Red.
I'm going down to Cuba tomorrow. I'm going to bring back a statement from this Jessup guy that's going to tell you all you ever wanted to know about this subject. When I do, I'd like you to recommend the 7 years. In exchange, I'll plead guilty to aggravated assault and use what influence I have to convince my clients not to sell the movie rights. Did I say something funny?
We'll talk when you get back.
Jack, do we have a deal?
Work for it.
Jack! Do we have a deal?
You don't know it yet, pal? But you're going to school tomorrow.
Hi.
Come on in.
Thank you.
Any luck getting me replaced?
No. I spoke to a half-dozen people at Division. Is there anyone in this command that you don't either drink or play softball with?
Joe, I have no inbred hostility toward you. I really don't. But if you ever speak to a client of mine again without my permission, I'll have you disbarred.
I had authorization.
You had authorization from where?
Downey's closest living relative. Ginny Miller, his aunt on his mother's side. I thought sure it might be unethical, but as long as it isn't illegal, what the hell?
You got authorization from Aunt Ginny?
I gave her a call. I thought she might be concerned. Perfectly within my province. You know what she said?
You got authorization from Aunt Ginny.
She said she's positive some mistake has been made.
Does Aunt Ginny have a barn? We can hold the trial there. I can sew the costumes and maybe his Uncle Goober can be the judge.
I'll get out of your way now.
Thank you.
Was your father Lionel Caffey?
Yes,
Really?
pretty sure.
I've studied, you know, all his... I think he was one of the best trial lawyers ever. I've read everything he's written. A lot.
Me too.
Right. Right. You know what's odd?
What's odd?
At 1:30, almost an hour after Santiago dies, the doctor, Commander Stone, couldn't determine the cause of death. But then, 4 hours later, he said it was poison.
Why? Of course. I see what you mean.
Do you?
It had to be Professor Plum with the candlestick.
Happened! Somewhere between 1:30 and 5:30, someone met with the doctor and told him to say it was poison. Someone coerced the doctor.
Someone coerced the doctor. Do you work with a Ouija board?
I'm going down to Cuba with you tomorrow.
No, you're not.
Oh, yeah, I am. I called my office. They're sending me on an observation and evaluation field trip. Isn't that great?
Is this what you meant by I'll get out of your way now?
All right. She's asleep. Now, when Laura gets back, you're my witness, all right? The baby spoke. My daughter said a word.
Your daughter made a sound. I'm not sure it was a word.
Oh, come on. It was a word.
Okay.
It was, Denny. She sat here, she pointed, and she said, "Paw." She did. She said, "Paw."
She was pointing at a doorknob.
That's right. Yes, pointing as if to say, "Paw, look, a doorknob."
Samuel, why do two guys with the intent of killing someone call an ambulance when they see blood?
Why does anybody do anything?
That's not good enough.
Good enough for me.
No, it's not. Why do they call an ambulance when they see blood?
You say.
They say they called the ambulance.
They panicked.
I don't know about Downey, but Dawson's never panicked about anything in his life.
I think the clients are lucky that you're lead counsel.
let the hammer drop?
I'd serve him to division with a fucking cherry on top.
Thank you, Judd, for the defense. Have a good night.
Hey, remember to wear your whites. It's hot down there.
I don't look good in whites.
Nobody looks good in whites, but you're going to Cuba in July. You got Dramamine?
Dramamine keeps you cool?
No. Dramamine keeps you from throwing up. You get sick when you fly.
I get sick when I fly because I'm afraid of crashing into a big mountain. I don't think Dramamine will help.
I got some oregano. I hear that works for you.
Sam, do you know there's only one piece of evidence linking them to the crime? It's their presence at the scene. They stood there and waited for the MPs to show up.
Ask them what they're supposed to fight for.
Sam, they stood there and waited to be arrested.
Of course, Danny. These two guys have a fierce sense of honor.
Report!
Sir, Corporal Thomas, Alpha Squad present, sir! Corporal Thomas, Bravo's present, sir!
Sir, Corporal Hammaker, Charlie Squad's present.
Sir, Lance Corporal Dawson, Delta Squad present, less 2. Report! PFC Downey and PFC Santiago, sir.
Private Santiago's been excused from the meeting. Where's Downey?
Private Downey radioed in to switch, sir. His Jeep blew out. He and Pickup are making it back by foot.
Pass on my words to Private Downey.
Yes, sir.
Revelations 2! I know thou works in thy labor, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and have found them to be liars. If you have a problem in your PFC, who do you take that problem to?
Sir, your corporal, sir!
If you have a problem in your corporal, who do you take that problem to?
Sir, your sergeant, sir!
Private Santiago of Delta Squad has laid waste our priorities and made wretched our code. Priorities!
Unit, Corps, God, Country!
Goon!
Unit, Corps, God, Country!
Priorities!
Unit, Corps, God, Country!
Goon!
Unit, Corps, God, Country!
You need something from outside this unit to show you how to be good!
Sir, no, sir!
You need something from outside this unit to show you how to be right!
Sir, no, sir!
Corporal Dunn!
Sir!
You think you and the men of Alpha Squad can show Private Santiago how to be right?
Sir, yes, sir!
Anyone in Alpha goes near him, you'll answer to me. Is that clear?
Sir!
Is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
Alpha's dismissed!
Aye, aye, sir!
Corporal Thomas.
Sir!
How about my brave men of Bravo? I bet I turn this over to your boys and Santiago's Marine by sunrise. Am I right?
Sir, yes, sir!
Bravo touches him. You'll all be filling sandbags too. You beg for mercy. Dismissed!
Aye, aye, sir!
Corporal Hammaker.
Sir!
I have 2 things to say to you. The first is that I believe in my heart that you and the men of Charlie Squad are outstanding Marines, and that your influence on the private would prove invaluable. The second is that the government of the United States maintains a military installation in the Arctic Circle, and you and the men of Charlie Squad will find yourself scraping icicles off of igloos in a heartbeat if you so much as look funny at the private. Is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
No code reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
No code reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
No code reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
Dismissed!
Aye, sir!
Lance Corporal Dawson.
Help me! This is my job, Private, okay? It's my responsibility. I've got to train you how to be right. You're a Marine and you've got honor. You can't make mistakes, Private. You don't make mistakes. Not while you're in my squad. The Corps helps those who help themselves.
You're lucky it's us, Willie. Could be worse. Could be somebody else.
Lift your head and lift it high.
Lift your head and lift it high.
Delta company's passing by.
Delta company's passing by.
I don't know what I've been told.
I don't know what I've been told.
All Marines are mighty bold.
All
side of the base.
Thank you.
I have some camouflage jackets in the Jeep, sir, so I'll have to ask you to put them on.
Camouflage jackets?
Yes, sir, regulations. We'll be riding pretty close to the fence line. Cubans see an officer in white and they think it's someone they might want to take a shot at.
Good call, Sam.
Jeep's right over this way, ma'am. We'll just hop on a ferry and be there in no time.
We have to take a boat?
Yes, sir, to get to the other side of the bay.
Whitaker didn't say anything about a boat.
Is there a problem, sir?
No, no problem. I'm just not crazy about boats.
Jesus Christ, Kathy. You're in the Navy, for crying out loud. Want to get a hold of yourself?
Nobody likes her very much.
Yes, sir.
Nathan Jessup, come on in and sit down.
Thank you. I'm Daniel Caffey. This is Commander Joe Galloway. She's observing and evaluating.
How do you do?
Pleased to meet you, Commander.
Sam Weinberg. He has no responsibilities here whatsoever.
I've asked Colonel Markins and Lieutenant Kendrick to join us. Matthew is the company commander. Jonathan is the XO for the Windward side. Gentlemen, meet Lieutenants Caffey and Weinstein and Commander Galloway.
Weinberg.
How do you do?
Lieutenant Caffey, I had the pleasure of meeting your father once while I was a teenager and he spoke at my high school.
Lionel Caffey?
Yes, sir.
Oh, give it a goddamn cricket. Gentlemen, oh, you too young to know. This man's dad once made a lot of enemies down in your neck of the woods. Jefferson versus Madison County School District, huh? Folks down there said a little Negro boy couldn't go to a white school. Lionel said, we'll see about that. How the hell is your dad?
I'm sorry, sir.
Is he still trying to overthrow the government?
Not any longer, sir.
Oh, no. Did he pass away?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, son.
Thank you, sir. It was 7 years ago.
I feel like a fucking asshole. Matthew, please.
Thank you, sir.
What can I do for you, Danny?
Actually, Colonel, quite a bit. One letter from you or your officers could go a long way toward reducing the boys' sentences.
A letter? Saying what, Danny?
Saying that code reds are a practiced custom on the base, and that Dawson and Downey, otherwise exceptional Marines, were simply disciplining one of their own when an accident happened.
I have some tragic news for you, Danny.
What's that, Colonel?
You've made the long trek to Cuba for nothing.
Well, I think if you give me 10 minutes of your time, I can persuade you.
John, check your watch. Go.
Dear Senator, I have written to you before about my problems with my unit here in Cuba. I am threatened or picked on almost every day by the members of my own unit. They write me up on charges of malingering and say I'm making believe I'm sick. I fainted during a run and asked to go to the doctor, and they paid no attention. I was warned by a friend to keep quiet because they're looking for any little detail so they can write me up. I do not want to be a part of any unit or organization who endangers the lives of their men just by training them. Please help me resolve this problem. Or if I could call you, sir, I could explain it a lot better.
Danny, this was no code red.
Well, that's really a matter of...
No, Danny, I'm sorry. I really am. Lieutenant Kendrick told the men specifically not to give Santiago code red.
When was this?
1600 hours, 7 July.
We had a meeting here first, and then Lieutenant Kendrick spoke to 2nd Platoon.
We anticipated the code red and we tried to prevent it.
Code reds are a privilege. Code reds are for those worth the time. Santiago was a weak link, and he was dangerous. He was not worth the time, and all the men knew I felt that way.
How would they know that, sir?
Because as soon as I saw that letter, I ordered his immediate transfer off the base.
Santiago was about to be transferred?
At 0200 that morning. 2 hours too late, as it turns out, because at midnight, your client stuck a rag soaked in antifreeze down his throat.
Sir, the boys say there was no poison on the rag.
Joe.
The doctor said there was.
Colonel, do you still have a copy of that transfer order?
Right here.
Could I hold on to that?
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm sorry, sir?
How am I supposed to feel about that?
Oh, jeez, I didn't mean to imply that...
Of course you did.
No, sir. It's simply a matter
I
of
was
collecting-
feeling quite friendly toward you and your team of lawyers when mistrust reared its ugly head.
Mistrust is the farthest
Of
thing.
course you can have a copy of that order. I'm here to help any way I can.
Thank you, sir.
You believe that, don't you? That I'm here to help any way I can?
Of course.
I have 3 copies of that order. More than happy to let you have one.
It's
You just have to ask me nicely.
I'm sorry, sir.
You have to ask me nicely.
Sir, may I please have...
What the hell kind of garbanzo nonsense is this?
Joe.
We don't work for you, Colonel. We're investigating a crime.
We are not investigating a crime.
Joanne, you seem a trifle perturbed. About a gumball.
No, thank you, sir. I wonder if I could ask you a question, though.
No.
Name it.
Between 1:30 and 5:30 on the morning of the 8th, did you meet with Commander Stone?
Commander, the Colonel doesn't need to answer that.
Of course he does.
No, he really doesn't.
Yeah, he really does. Colonel,
You know, it just sunk in. She outranks him. She outranks you.
Yes, sir.
Now listen up, I want to tell you something. And listen up, 'cause I mean this. You are the luckiest man in the world. There is, believe me, gentlemen, nothing on earth sexier than a woman you have to salute every morning. I promote of all I say. Because this is true. If you've never gotten a blowjob from a superior officer, you're letting the best of life just pass you by.
did you consult with the doctor that night?
My
Back
problem is,
off,
of course,
Commander.
I'm a full-bird colonel. I'm going to have to keep taking cold showers till they elect some gal president.
I need an answer to my question, Colonel.
You'll get an answer.
I need it now,
Take
sir.
caution in your tone, Commander. I'm a fair guy. This fucking heat's making me absolutely crazy. Yes, of course I met with the doctor. One of my men was dead.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, listen, we'll get out of your hair. I just need a piece of paper that says that Santiago died due to an accident that occurred during the Code Red.
Lieutenant Caffey, I believe in God and in His Son, Jesus Christ. And because I do, I can say this. Private Santiago isn't dead because of a Code Red. He's dead because he had no honor. He's dead because he had no code. And God was watching.
How do you guys feel about that theory?
Sam.
I don't like you people.
Oh, well, look here. Another Christmas card I'm not gonna get.
That's it. The two of you, wait outside.
I apologize to you.
Wait outside. You too.
Please excuse us.
Joanne, how about if I shut my eyes and pretend I'm just a chief petty officer? You've still got an hour before your flight leaves. What do you say?
What would I do with the other 59 minutes, Colonel?
Colonel, however you may feel about the value of these Code Reds or the intent of my clients on the night of the 7th, the fact is none of it looks very good to the outside world. Now, I can't detain you or charge you with a crime, but on a slow news day, I could sure as hell piss on your National Security Council seat. So what I'm saying is this. Why don't you let me be your attorney? I'll draft a statement and make sure you're safe. Meanwhile, my guys get a break and everybody's happy.
Damn it.
Yes, sir?
Did I just hear you threaten me?
I was laying out a possible option, sir.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I heard you threatening me. I think you thought you were gonna walk in here and flash a badge and that was gonna mean something. I eat breakfast 70 yards away from 3,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me. Danny, believe this. I'd kill you. I'd kill everyone in this room. I would kill anyone to protect that which I am paid to protect. Go home. Back behind the lines. Go home where your White uniform won't get you killed. Give in to what I'm saying. You believe every word. Lieutenant Kendrick?
10 minutes.
Meeting's over, Navy. Anchor's away. Daniel. Transfer order.
No. No, I don't need it.
I believe in God and His Son, Jesus Christ.
Fine, we'll just take that gun out of your hands.
What happened in there?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
Nothing. Nothing happened.
Will he give you a statement?
No. I'll come up with something else.
Excuse me, sir.
What?
These are your security tags for the flight back. They got your flight code on them. Yep, it's an AF-40 transport. Doesn't have any windows, but it flies.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Doesn't have any windows, but it gets you there.
The AF-40 is fine.
You better be sure to keep those tags secure, sir. You don't want to lose them. The boys out at the strip like to give you Navy people a hard time now and again whenever they get the shot.
Why? What'd we ever do to them?
Oh, nothing, sir. Navy's been great. Every time we gotta go someplace and fight, you boys always give us a ride.
Get the Jeep.
Yes, sir, I'll be back too sweet.
Listen, Joe, I made a joke the other day about being sexually aroused. I'm sorry, it was rude and unprofessional.
You bet your ass. Sugar bear.
You've observed, you've evaluated, it's over. Tomorrow morning they'll be arraigned, and if I can work up something fast, they'll get aggravated assault, and that's the end of it.
You boys always give us a ride.
I wonder how long you've been working on that one.
God, I hate this mess.
First thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers.
Shakespeare.
I hate casualties, Matthew. A Marine smothers a grenade and saves his platoon. That Marine is doing his job. There are casualties, even in victory. The fabric of this base, foundation of the unit, the spirit of the Corps, these things are worth fighting for. And no one doesn't know that who's ever made the choice to put on the uniform. I hate casualties. Dawson and Downey, they're smothering a grenade.
Just the same, Colonel, if I were you, I'd get myself a lawyer.
What you gonna do when you get back? What you gonna do when you get back? Take a shower and hit the rack. Take a shower and hit the rack. Oh no, not me. Oh no, not us. What you gonna do when we get back? Polish up for sneak attack.
Ten hoop! Officer on deck!
Why did you care that Santiago was writing the letter?
Sir?
I want to know why you cared.
It was a code red, sir.
Colonel Jessup thinks you're full of shit. He doesn't think you were just trying to train Santiago. He thinks you were trying to kill him.
That's not true, sir.
Private! The lieutenant didn't ask for an opinion.
What's true? Why did you care?
It was a code red, sir.
8,000 men on that base. Why did you care?
I was his squad leader. It was my job,
Yeah,
sir.
but why did you care?
Private Santiago
Not
broke
you! Him. Why did you care?
Sir, Private Santiago broke
No.
the chain.
I don't want to hear about your chain of command. I don't want to hear about your loyalty. I don't want to hear about your bozo code of honor. Why did you care?
Sir, Private Santiago broke the chain.
Did you hear what I just said?
Private Santiago needed to learn how to
Why did you care?
He, a weakling, we have a responsibility!
Bullshit. Why did you care?
Because God was watching.
What did Kendrick say to you?
God is watching, Lance Corporal Dawson, and he helps those who help themselves. And so do I. Get your house in order, Lance Corporal. Unit, Corps, God, country, and duty to oneself simply isn't part of the equation. Get your house in order so that these men can believe in you again. Get your house in order so the Lord your God can look down on you and say, there's a United States Marine and I will stand at his side. Get your house in order and don't let anyone ever tell you we're not at war. Would you like me to tell you what to do now? Say yes, sir!
You were given an order.
Yes, sir!
Lieutenant Kendrick gave you an order to give Santiago a code red.
Yes, sir!
You mind telling me why the hell you never mentioned this before?
You never asked us, sir!
Cutie pie shit's not gonna win you a place in my heart, Corporal. I get paid no matter how much time you spend in jail.
Yes, sir! I know you do, sir!
Fuck you, Harold. Here's what's gonna happen. You'll swear out deposition against Kendrick saying that he ordered the code red. If you do, I think I can get a good deal. I think I can get 6 months. Wow, Kathy, you're the greatest lawyer in the world! How can we ever thank you? Fellas, I just told you you're gonna go home in 6 months.
Sir, permission to speak!
Speak.
Begging the lieutenant's pardon!
What?
I'm afraid we can't do that, sir.
Can't do what?
Make a deal, sir. I'm afraid we can't say that Lieutenant Kendrick ordered the code red.
Look, are you telling me the truth about the meeting?
Yes, sir!
But you won't say so in a written statement.
Not so we can make a deal, I'm afraid not, sir.
Why?
We live by code. Either we were right or wrong. We don't make deals.
Well, zippity-doo-dah. You don't turn government evidence. The best I can get you is 7 years.
That's fine, sir.
No, that's not fine, you pompous asshole. I'm offering you 6 months.
What do we do then, sir?
When?
After 6 months. What do we do after 6 months, sir?
I'm talking to you about...
We didn't join because we felt like it. We joined because it was a life decision. We wanted to live by code, and we found it in the Corps. And now you're asking me to sign a piece of paper that says I have no honor, that we have no code. You're asking us to say we're not Marines. We're being tested, and if we fail, I'm asking you, sir, with all due respect for your lieutenant's bars, what do we do after 6 months?
You guys were a freak show.
What did they say?
Are you just following me around 24 hours a day?
Markinson resigned his commission.
What?
Lieutenant Colonel Markinson resigned his commission.
When?
Tonight, after we left.
I'll get in touch with him tomorrow.
I already tried. I can't find him. What did they say?
Joe, this really comes under the heading of none of your business.
I'm Loudon Downey's attorney. And Ginny, she said she feels like she's known me for years. She said she'd feel very comfortable if I were directly involved in the case. Loudon signed the paperwork an hour ago. By the way, I'd appreciate it if you didn't speak to my client without my permission. But since you did, what'd they say?
You make me nervous, Joanne. I'm involved in a situation in which the stakes couldn't be higher. I'm not going to take time out to give tutorials in criminal procedure to a restless dilettante with a gut feeling.
That was a nice speech. What did they say?
Kendrick gave them an order.
What do we do now?
Find Jack Ross.
Talk to the other guys in the platoon.
I don't need to.
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, they all say the same thing. Kendrick specifically said not to touch Santiago.
They weren't there. He dismissed the platoon. You talked to Kendrick.
I already talked to Kendrick. He denies everything.
You talked to Kendrick?
Joe.
Why did you think there was anything to deny?
I had a suspicion.
It's not
You had a
important
suspicion
now.
and you chose not to share it with anyone?
It was just a suspicion.
You're in violation of about 14 articles of the Code of Ethics.
This is Joanne Galloway. She's very pleased to meet you.
Ebenezer Galloway?
She's Downey's attorney.
And you're about 30 seconds away from a felony evidence tampering charge.
You want to charge me with something?
How long
Joe,
will you
this is
know?
another one of those situations.
Oh, no. You ask him where he's getting his information. 12. 24, 72
You
hours.
want to charge me with something,
Why
lady?
don't we all just settle down here?
Please,
all right?
I'm begging you. Charge me with something.
Hey! In the interest of justice, can we all just take a deep knee bend?
Kendrick had a platoon meeting. He told the men what Santiago had done, and he said that Santiago was not to get a code red. I have Kendrick's deposition as well as the deposition of every other man at that meeting.
Kendrick's lying, Jack.
I think you're right. I think he's lying. But so what? None of us can prove it.
I'm not sure about that. Why does a Marine lieutenant colonel resign his commission after 21 years?
We'll never know.
You don't think I can subpoena Markinson?
I think you can try, but you won't find him. Do you know what Markinson did for the first 17 of his 21 years in the Corps? CIC, Danny. Counterintelligence. Markinson's gone. There is no Markinson. RSC is an effective unit, and Colonel Jessup Starr is on the rise. They will let me bend over backward to spare that base and the Corps any embarrassment. So this is it. Aggravated assault, 7 years. All things considered, not a bad week's work for the defense.
He's bluffing. He's got a PR problem and he can't afford to go to court.
Commander, every time you open your mouth, you're taking years off the client's lives. Now shut up!
I'm sorry, Kat. No, she's right. I can't afford to go to court on this. Lucky for you, huh, Danny? You're turning green at the thought of it. Nope. Taking this to court will look bad for me. It'll look bad for the Marine Corps and I'd be held responsible. But you take this to court and your guys go away for 30 years!
Jack.
Are we clear on that? We have to be clear on that. As soon as I leave this room, we have to go all the way. They'll be charged with murder, and in a courtroom, you lose this case. Please. I'm the judge advocate, and I'm telling you I don't think your guys belong in prison. But I don't get to make that choice. I represent the people, see? Without passion. And the people have a case. If you can get me written statements, they'll do 6 months. Without them, 7 years. Believe a word this woman tells you, and they won't see the light of day till they're 59. That is the end of this negotiation. From here on out, we are on the record. See you tomorrow morning, 9:45. I'll see you with the arrangements.
Can I speak now?
I'm not going to talk to Dawson anymore. He won't take the deal. He doesn't like me. He's going to go to jail just to spite me, so my job is done.
I'm not talking about making a deal.
I won't have this conversation.
Sam?
It's an unwinnable case. Take the 7 years and run. It's a gift.
It's not a gift. I won those 7 years.
Keep telling yourself that.
What do you want from me?
Why are you so afraid to be a lawyer?
Jesus.
Were Daddy's expectations really that high?
Hey. Commander, Downey's your client. If you want to take him into court...
Go to hell! Go to hell for saying that when you know I need Dawson and you know I need you! They think they were right. Let him be judged. Don't make the deal, make the argument. Let him be judged by a jury in a courtroom. Tell Dawson you want to plead not guilty. Tell Dawson you're going to make his argument for him.
An argument that didn't work for Cowley at My Lai. An argument that didn't work for the Nazis at Nuremberg.
For Christ's sake, Sam, you really think that's the same as 2 young Marines executing a routine order that they never believed would result in harm?
No, of course not.
I don't represent the Nazis. They're not my problem tonight.
That's right. So what are you going to do? Danny.
I'm sorry, Ross is right. In a courtroom, we lose this case.
That's not for sure.
I can't jeopardize what we have.
But you know they're right. You know it.
I know the law.
You know nothing about the law. You're a used car salesman, Daniel. You're an ambulance chaser with a rank. You're nothing. Live with that.
Sam, Why does a junior grade with 6 months experience and a track record for plea bargaining get detailed for a murder case? Would it be to make sure that it never sees the inside of a courtroom?
Up in the morning with the rising sun. Up in the morning with the rising sun. Gonna run all day till the day is done. Gonna run all day till the day is done. Left, right, 1, 2, go right, 3, 4. Left, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
They've got you guys in separate cells now, huh?
Yes, sir.
You want to hear a joke? You hear about the Japanese pilot who hated jazz? He bombed Pearl Bailey. I was 99% sure you weren't going to laugh at that. You want some milk? Good for the teeth and bones.
No, thank you, sir.
Well, I don't know how else to say this. I think you gotta do it. Let me make a deal for you. I mean, in the end, what difference does it make?
Do you think we were right?
Doesn't matter what I think.
You're my lawyer. You're supposed to tell me if I broke the law.
It's not a matter of right and wrong.
Yes, it is. It always is. That's something people like you say. But it is. If we were wrong, tell me. I'm willing to accept that. But if we were right, I won't make the deal.
What do you mean, people like me?
Do you think we broke the law?
I think you'd lose.
You were such a coward. I can't believe they let you wear a uniform. Oh!
You're going to Leavenworth, and there's nothing I can do about it. I could have gotten you 6 months, but you wouldn't let me. You're going to Leavenworth for 7 years, and there's nothing I can do about it. MP! What happened to saluting an officer when he leaves the room?
In hold!
All right, where are we?
Docket number 411275, VR-5, United States versus Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson and Private First Class Loudon Downey. Defendants are charged with conspiracy to commit murder, murder in the second degree, and conduct unbecoming a United States Marine.
For the defense?
Kathy, Lieutenant Junior Grade, Daniel Abernathy, United States Naval Reserve, Judge Advocate General's Corps, sworn and certified in accordance with Articles 42A and 27B of the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Does defense wish to enter a plea?
Yeah. They're not guilty.
Enter a plea of not guilty for the defendants.
will adjourn until 1000 hours a week from today, at which time this court will reconvene as a general court martial. I will seek counsel in my chambers. Now.
And ho! Dismissed!
Say, boys.
Yes, sir.
Don't look at me and say yes, sir, like I just asked you if you cleaned the head. You're not in the Marines anymore. You're in jail. Get some rest, and don't speak to anyone. They're dismissed.
Aye, aye, sir.
So, this is what a courtroom looks like. Listen to me, Sam.
Danny,
wait a second.
You haven't thought this through.
They have a defense. They were following an order.
An illegal order?
What the fuck you think these guys know what an illegal order is? I don't know what an illegal order
All right,
is.
look, just hang on a minute. Because
They are not permitted to question orders, period.
all right, fine. Then what's the secret? I mean, what are the magic words? I give orders every day, and nobody follows them.
Sam, we have softball games and marching bands. They stand on a wall. They were ordered to do something that's routine down there. It's what they're taught to do.
The law says you can't do what they did. It's as simple as that.
It's not as simple as that. We're defense counsel. We position the truth. What did they teach you?
To tell the truth, not position it.
They taught you wrong. Talk to your friend at NIS. See what the deal is on Markinson.
I already did.
And?
She said if Markinson doesn't want to be found, we're not going to find him. She said I could be Markinson and you wouldn't know it.
Are you Markinson?
Commander?
I'm not Markinson. That's 2 down.
Find him. We'll meet at my apartment every night, 7 o'clock. I want you working with Downey 2 hours a day. Get him to stop squinting when he talks. He looks shifty. Sam, you're in charge of Dawson. Razor sharp, professional order taker. Stepford Marine. They were following an order. Straight. Simple.
But what expert witness are we going to call in who's going to say that they had to follow that order?
Jessup. Jessup.
I'm not putting Jessup on the stand. I can get what I need from Kendrick.
You put Kendrick on the stand, you give him the chance to deny he gave the order. You put a colonel
Dawson
on.
and Downey can testify to the order, and Kendrick will testify they had to follow it.
I think that's a mistake.
Noted.
Thank you.
Tonight at 7. All I have in the house is Yoo-Hoo and Sugar Smack, so bring whatever you like to eat and drink. You're going to be there a while. And don't wear that perfume. It wrecks my concentration.
Really?
I was talking to Sam.
Sir, Commander Stone to see you.
Thank you, Tom. Walter, please. Any news?
Not yet, sir. Still got a few more tests to run, but they're going to take a while. And even at that, I'm not certain we'll be able to make a determination.
I see.
Colonel, help us to know what happened.
It was a code red. The men were shaving his head.
Lieutenant, the boy didn't die of a haircut.
He died because that's what the Lord saw fit, Commander.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, John, give the Lord a rest. Would you please?
Yes, sir.
You look like hell. You get some rest yourself. Johnny, you're a Marine.
Thank you, sir.
Walter, I don't want to pin you down to anything. I know you got more tests to run, but let me ask you this. What are the possibilities at this point?
Could be any number of possibilities, Nathan. They used a gag. It could have gotten stuck in his throat. There could have been poison on the gag. He could have gotten a health skirt out of him when he had a heart attack. Like I said, we may never be certain. Sometimes it's just a judgment call.
A heart attack?
In a medical history that would suggest the possibility of a slight coronary disorder.
Why wasn't this ever detected before?
It's difficult to impossible to detect in someone who has it.
Walter, is that what you're gonna say to a board of inquiry?
How do you mean?
I mean, you give these boys a thorough examination every 3 months. And every 3 months, you sent Santiago back up on that wall with a clean bill of health. Am I wrong?
You think the symptoms are
No,
fatigue?
Walter, you tell me. What could happen to a doctor's career because of something like this? You know what I think happened? I don't think it was a code red. I think Dawson and Downey got it into their heads to kill Santiago. I think, like you said, I think they put poison on the rag.
Well, that's one possibility.
Walter, you know why I think that? How long have I known you?
4 years.
Close on to 5 now. One of the first things I did when I got this post was request your assignment to the base hospital. And the first thing I'll do when I leave is tell the folks upstairs, I want Walter with the big stones coming with me. I put my trust in you, Walter. I put the lives of my Marines in your hands. That's why I think it had to be poison, Walter. You're the doctor. You're the damn good doctor. Whatever you say, I'll live with. There's gonna be an investigation into the cause of death. I'll do what I can for you.
Yes, sir.
Tom! Find me Colonel Wilkinson.
Aye, sir.
Yes, can I help you?
Well, oh gosh, I hope so. I've been getting the runaround all morning. Gilbert Hamilton, Baltimore's son.
Good to meet you. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm doing a 2-part feature on the traffic over at Andrews Air Force Base. Do you keep on file any record of the incoming flights at Andrews?
Sure, all the bases, we keep copies of the Daily Tower Chief's logs.
Is that right?
Sure, they list incoming flights, times of arrival, passenger manifests.
Well, I need a copy. I need a copy of the logbook for the evening of July 7th and the morning of July 8th.
Got it? The only thing I need to see is a copy of the fleet requisition form and a 710 signed by 2 officers over the rank of lieutenants.
Oh, hell.
I'm sorry, I can't show you copies of the logbook without a copy of the fleet requisition form and a 710 signed by 2 officers over the rank of lieutenants.
I understand. Say, is the duty officer here?
No, sir, he's at a department meeting.
Oh, gee. Well, is there anyone else I can talk to?
No, sir, not for another half hour. Everybody's at lunch and I'm going over here.
Well, then, let's go get a logbook.
Sir, that's Corporal Dawson, sir.
I know who you are, Harold. You don't have to identify yourself. Thought we were through with this shit the night I struck an enlisted man without cause or provocation. I wanted to come by and give you some words of, I don't know, some encouragement or something. Sit up straight. Not very confidence-inspiring, I know.
It's all right. I'm not the one who needs confidence. After all, you have to accept the consequences too, right?
Yeah, but you see, they're not my consequences to accept.
That makes it a little bit worse, doesn't it, sir?
Sit up straight. Last chance. Looking for it.
In who?
Too late.
All those having business with this general court-martial, stand forward, and you shall be heard. Captain Julius Alexander Randolph is presiding. God save the United States of America.
Without objection, the sworn statements of the defendants have been read to the jury and entered into the court record.
No objection.
No objection.
Without objection, the sworn statements of the 9 members of the Rifle Security Company Windward have been read to the jury and entered into the court records.
No objection.
No objection.
Is the government prepared to present its case?
We are, sir.
Please, the court. Before we begin, can I ask if all of these MPs are really necessary?
Are they making you nervous, Commander?
No, sir. They're projecting the image that the defendants are dangerous and or a flight risk.
The defendants are on trial for murder.
The defendants, who are in handcuffs, have not been found guilty of a crime. And I'm sure that if they were to break free and make their escape, the 4 armed guards at the door would apprehend them.
Sir, the Provost Marshal felt it advisable to make the defendants a security priority.
The Provost Marshal is gonna feel like an idiot if someone steals one of our ships during this trial.
Take a seat, Commander. Government shall call its witness.
Government calls Commander Stone.
Call Commander Stone.
Commander Stone, have you previously been sworn?
Yes, I have.
Please state your full name, rank, and current billet for the record.
Commander Walter Stone. My current bill is Internal Medicine Specialist, Guantanamo Bay Naval Hospital.
Thank you, Commander. You may have a seat. You've been billeted at Gitmo
from October 1st, 1984 to present.
And on July 8th of this year, did you have occasion to treat PFC William Santiago?
I did.
Would you describe that treatment?
Private Santiago was brought into the emergency room on the morning of the 8th at 00:30. He was coughing up blood and suffering from a lack of oxygen. He lost consciousness at 00:35.
And what were your observations upon examination?
Well, the most obvious things were the rope marks around his wrists and his partially shaved head. X-rays and lab results revealed that his lungs were filled with fluid bilaterally. He had profound acidosis, and that is to say a buildup of acid in the blood.
What causes acid to build up in the lungs or blood?
Acidosis is when the muscles and other cells of the body burn sugar in the absence of oxygen. Santiago's cells stopped burning oxygen and began burning sugar, causing the lungs to bleed. He drowned in his own blood and was pronounced dead at 01:10.
Doctor, what caused Santiago's lungs to start burning sugar?
An ingested poison of some kind.
I'm wondering why it necessarily had to be poison. What if, for instance, a rag was placed in my throat, just as a joke? Maybe the rag was pushed down too far, to cut off oxygen altogether. Wouldn't that trigger the acidosis?
If that were the case, you'd suffocate long before your lungs started to bleed. Lactic acidosis is a chemical process that requires 20 to 30 minutes before it becomes fatal.
Doctor, did Willie Santiago die of poisoning?
Absolutely.
You are aware that the lab results show no trace of poison on the rag.
Yes, I am.
You're also aware that the coroner's report shows no trace of poison in the body.
I am.
Then how do you justify your opinion, sir?
There are literally dozens of toxins that are virtually undetectable, both in the human body and on, well, a fabric. It's the nature of the acidosis that's the compelling factor in this issue.
Thank you, Doctor.
Doctor, other than the rope marks, was there any external damage?
Don't call him doctor.
Commander, other than the rope marks, was there any external damage?
No.
No scrapes or cuts?
No.
No bruises or... No, wait. Damn it! Why can't I get this?
Concentrate.
I am concentrating.
Not hard enough.
I concentrated hard enough to graduate 4th in my class. Where's your merit badge for concentration?
Scrapes, cuts, bruises, whelps, broken bones, fat lip. Saved by the bell.
We order food?
I can't remember.
I thought we ordered Chinese food.
We ordered Chinese food yesterday.
Oh, that might be a package for me.
I'll get it. I gotta stretch my legs.
You having your mail delivered here now?
I called division and asked to see the tower chief's log from Guantanamo.
What do you want with the tower chief's log?
They said the O-200 was the first flight off the base that night. I want to see if they were keeping Santiago on base on purpose.
I'm chasing Kendrick. You're chasing shadows.
I'm chasing Jessup.
Keep Jessup out of this.
One day you're gonna tell me what went on in his office.
Well, it's not Chinese food.
Is it for me?
I don't know. It just says AF-40 MAM. AF-40 MAM. Does that mean anything to anybody?
AF-40 MAM?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway, USNR, JAGC, MOUSE.
How's the baby? I don't know. I haven't seen her awake in 2 weeks.
Damn it!
What?
They sent me the wrong log.
The wrong week?
The wrong goddamn base. I swear these assholes sent me the log for Andrews Air Force Base. I asked for the log for Naval Air Station Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, so naturally they sent me the log for Andrews Air Force Base.
Well, just call them in the morning. I mean, they'll send you the right one.
I know. It just galls me.
What?
It galls me.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone of my generation say that before.
Back to work.
Scrapes, cuts, bruises, welts, broken bones, fat lip.
Go Harvard!
Commander, you testified that it takes lactic acidosis 20 to 30 minutes before it becomes lethal. That is to say, 20 to 30 minutes before a person's lungs would fill with fluid bilaterally.
That's correct.
20 to 30 minutes, that's about average.
Right.
In some people it might be more, and some people less.
A little bit more, a little bit less.
Let me ask you, is it possible for a person to have some sort of affliction, a condition that, which might in the case of this person, actually speed up the process of acidosis dramatically?
Certainly.
And what might some of those conditions be?
Well, if someone had a coronary disorder or a cerebral disorder, it's possible that the lungs might begin to bleed before they suffocated. It might have to be a serious condition.
Is it possible to have a serious coronary condition where the initial warning signals were so mild as to escape a physician during a routine medical exam?
Possibly. There would still be symptoms, though.
And what would some of those symptoms be?
There are many symptoms of a coronary disorder.
Are chest pains, shortness of breath, and fatigue among them?
Yes.
Commander, is this your signature?
Yes, it is.
This is an order for Private Santiago to be put on restricted duty for a period of 4 weeks. Would you read your handwritten remarks at the bottom of the page, please, sir?
Initial testing negative. Basic complaints of chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue. Restricted from running distances over 5 miles.
Thank you, Commander. No further questions.
Doctor, you've held a license to practice medicine for 12 years. You've been published in various medical journals. You are board certified in internal medicine. You are chief of internal medicine in a hospital that serves over 8,000 men. In your professional opinion, doctor, was Willie Santiago poisoned?
Object. Calls for speculation.
Dr. Stone is an expert medical witness. In this courtroom, his opinion is not considered speculation.
Has the witness been admitted as an expert?
The government makes a motion at this time for the court to admit Commander Stone as an expert and allow his testimony.
Defense objects.
Overruled. The court will hear the doctor's opinion.
Your Honor, Commander Stone is an internist, not a criminologist, and his testimony under cross-examination has only demonstrated that the medical facts are simply inconclusive.
Nonetheless, I think I'd like to hear Dr. Stone's opinion.
Sir, the defense strenuously objects and requests a sidebar so His Honor might have an opportunity to hear discussion before ruling on the objection.
The objection of the defense has been heard and overruled.
Exception.
Noted.
Dr. Stone, in your expert medical opinion, was Willie Santiago poisoned?
Yes.
Thank you, Doctor. No further questions.
Commander, you may step down.
Please the court. While the government reserves the right to call rebuttal witnesses should the need arise, we rest our case.
Is defense ready to present its case?
Yes, sir.
Very well. We will stand in adjournment until 1000 hours this next Monday, 19 August.
In who? Dismissed.
I strenuously object. Okay, is that how it works? Objection! Overruled. No. I strenuously object. Well, since you strenuously object, let me take just a moment to reconsider.
Look, I got it in the record.
You also got it in the jury's head that we're afraid of the doctor. Okay, you object once to remind them that his testimony hasn't been proven. Any more than that, and it looked like this great case we built is just a bunch of fancy lawyer tricks. You see, it's just the difference between paper law and trial law. Sorry, I'm just in a pissy mood.
Is he right?
Yes, I'm right.
Yes, he's right. but-
Okay.
He's right, but it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna go call my wife. I'll meet up with you guys later.
Why do you hate them so much?
Because they beat up on a weakling. And that's all they did. If the rest of this is just a bunch of smoke-filled coffee house crap, they tortured and tormented a weaker kid. And it wasn't just that night. Read the letters. It was 8 months. And you know what? I'll bet it was his whole life. They beat him. And they killed him. And why? Because they couldn't run very fast? I'm off duty. Don't ask me to be pals with these guys.
Sam! Do you think the argument we're gonna make on Monday is legally sound?
I think the argument we're going to make on Monday is morally reprehensible.
I'm not a judge, Sam. I'm not a jury, and I'm not a prosecutor. That makes me the one person in the room who is honor-bound to do things which are morally reprehensible.
I'm sorry,
All right. Everybody take the night off.
Look, no, I
made
any.
Go see Laura. See your daughter. Joe, do whatever it is you do when you're not here. We'll start working on Howard tomorrow.
Well, we should at least get to the deputies.
Take the night off.
All right. I'll see you in the morning.
He's tired. He'll be fine. I'll see you tomorrow.
How much damage did I cause? With the doctor?
It doesn't matter.
Are you saying it doesn't matter because I didn't cause that much damage, or it doesn't matter because it's water under the bridge?
It doesn't matter because we'll never know, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Good. That's a good attitude.
Thank you. I got it on sale. See you in the morning. Joe? Do you have any place to go?
Yeah? I was just gonna stick around here a little while longer.
You're in the courtroom?
Yeah.
The only person around here is going to be Dickie, the night janitor. And he's asleep most of the time. Quite honestly, he's not that much fun when he's awake.
I know, I just...
What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
You just what?
I just enjoy empty courtrooms.
You enjoy empty courtrooms.
Yeah.
You're like 7 of the strangest women I've ever met.
I know. I'm the girl guys like you hated in the 6th grade.
Joe, you're the girl guys like me tortured in the 6th grade. I'll see you in the morning. Why do you like them so much?
Because they stand on a wall. And they say, nothing is gonna hurt you tonight. Not on my watch. Isn't that amazing?
Don't worry about the doctor. His trial starts on Monday.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Santiago, I was Williams' company commander. I knew your son vaguely, which is to say, I knew his name. In a matter of time, the trial of the 2 men charged with your son's death will be concluded. And 7 men and 2 women will try and offer you an explanation as to why William is dead. Most likely, they will offer many explanations. For my part, I have done what I can to bring the truth to light. I did it not in the uniform in which I served for 21 years, but in costumes and in shadows. I was a defender. And at this moment, I am being pursued by the Naval Investigative Service, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Central Intelligence Agency, and the military police. And I cannot possibly do this anymore. Because the truth is this. I was not strong enough to stop it. Always, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Andrew Markinson, United States Marine Corps.
Today is Monday, 19 August 86. Session is called to order at 10:02.
Where can you be? Stop looking for Markinson.
Is defense ready to call its first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Defense calls Corporal Howard.
Call Corporal Howard.
Corporal Howard, have you previously been sworn?
Yes, sir.
Please state your full name, rank, and current billet for the record.
Corporal Jeffrey Owen Howard, Marine Barracks Windward, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Thank you, Corporal. You may have a seat.
Corporal, are you a little nervous?
Yes, sir.
Would you like a glass of water?
No, sir, I'm fine, thank you.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Well, if you want some water, if you'd like to take a short break, you just let me know.
Please, the court. The witness has twice said he doesn't want any water. Can we please continue with the examination?
Defense counsel will question the witness.
Corporal, you've been called as a witness in order to give the court some insight into the nature of the duty that Marines and Rifle Security Company perform.
Well, it's very simple, really. The base is divided into two halves.
Corporal, you're going to have to wait for me to ask a question.
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Would you describe the general layout of the base for us?
Well, it's very simple, really. The base is divided into two halves, the divider being Guantanamo Bay. Each half of the base has its own rifle security company. To the west is Leeward, and to the east is Windward.
What's the function of the Marines in RSC Windward?
To provide ground support in the event of enemy engagement, and to provide day-to-day security on the fence line.
How long do the Marines spend on watch?
We are on the fence for 1 week, then off for a week.
And when you're on the fence, how long is each watch?
6 hours on, 6 hours off.
6 hours on, 6 hours off. 1 week on, 1 week off. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Are the sentries armed?
Yes, sir.
With?
Sir?
What are the Marines armed with?
Sir?
What are you armed with, Jeffrey?
Weapons?
A pea shooter, a pocket knife, a slingshot?
Oh, no, sir! Pea shooter.
By all means, if necessary.
You're armed with M16 rifles and 60 rounds of ammunition, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jeffrey, what's a code red?
Sir, a code red is a disciplinary action brought against a Marine who's fallen out of line.
Name some ways a Marine could fall out of line.
Being late for a platoon or company meeting, keeping his barracks in disorder, letting his personal appearance become substandard, behaving in a manner unbecoming a Marine, falling back on a run.
Have you ever received a code red?
Yes, sir.
Would you describe it?
I dropped my weapon during a field exercise one day. We were doing 7-man assault drills and I just dropped my weapon. It's just that my palms were sweaty because it's over 100 degrees and my weapon just slipped, sir.
And what happened?
Well, later that night, the guys on my squad threw a blanket over me and took turns punching me in the arm for 5 minutes. Then they poured glue on my hands.
Okay.
And it worked too, because I never dropped my weapon since.
Object.
We're gonna have to strike that, Jeffrey, but it was a good effort. What happened after they punched you and poured glue on your hands?
They took me to Post 44 and bought me a beer.
They gave you a code red and then they bought you a beer.
Yes, sir.
Corporal, were you acquainted with Private Santiago?
Yes, sir.
Did you come in contact with him every day?
Yes, sir.
You participated in drills together?
Yes, sir.
Your squads were on the fence together?
Yes, sir.
You shared a barracks hall?
Yes, sir.
Was Private Santiago ever late for platoon meetings?
Yes, sir.
Was his barracks ever in disorder?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever let his appearance become substandard?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever, in your estimation, behave in a manner unbecoming a Marine?
Absolutely, sir, yes.
Did he ever, prior to the morning of July 8th, receive a code red?
No, sir.
Never? You got a code red because your palms were sweaty. Why didn't Private Santiago, this burden and embarrassment to his unit, why didn't he ever get a code red?
Because Corporal Dawson wouldn't allow it, sir.
Corporal Dawson wouldn't allow it.
Hal, Corporal Dawson was Santiago's squad leader. He wouldn't let anyone go near him. The guys talked tough about Santiago, but when it came down to it, they wouldn't touch him. They were too afraid of Corporal Dawson, sir.
Object. The witness is characterizing.
Good point. I'll rephrase. Jeffrey, did you ever want to give Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you?
Because Corporal Dawson kicked my butt, sir.
Good enough. Lieutenant Ross is going to ask you some questions now.
Corporal, I have here the Marine Corps Guide and General Information Handbook for New Recruits. Are you familiar with this book?
Yes, sir.
Have you read it?
Yes, sir.
Good. Please turn to the chapter that deals with code reds, please.
Sir?
Just flip to the page in the book that discusses code reds.
Code reds aren't in this book, sir.
I see. In that case, let us turn to the Marine Infantry Handbook. Would you please find the section on code reds in this book and read it aloud to us, please?
Sir, code red is a Marine term that we use it at Gitmo, sir. I don't know if it actually.
Well, we're in luck. Marine Corps Guide to Sentry Duty, Nav Base, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. I assume we'll find the term code red and its definition in this book, and then we can move on. Am I correct, Corporal?
No, sir.
No. Corporal, I'm a Marine. Are you telling me there's no book, no manual, no pamphlet, no set of orders or regulations telling me that as a Marine, part of my duty is to perform code reds?
No, sir. No books, sir.
No more questions.
Corporal, would you turn to the page in this book that says where the enlisted men's mess hall is?
Lieutenant Caffey, that's not in the book.
No? You mean to tell the court that you've been stationed in Gitmo for 13 months, and in all that time you've never had a meal?
No, sir. 3 squares a day.
I'm confused. How did you know where the mess hall was if it's not in this book?
I guess I just followed the crowd at chow time, sir.
No more questions.
Can you step down, Corporal Howard?
Thank you, sir.
We'll take a 5-minute recess. Please don't anybody go too far.
And move! As you were.
So, what happened to Marcus?
Christ!
Can I talk to you alone for a minute? That was good work. The redirect on Howard.
Thank you.
Look, I want this to end now. I don't want Kendrick to have to take the stand.
He's a real day at the beach, isn't he?
I was up all night with him. He's bright, he's articulate, he's got nothing in the closet, and you're gonna make a meal out of it.
What are you getting at, Jack?
That's what I was gonna ask you. You're putting on an entertaining defense here that's going nowhere. You had the doctor on the ropes.
I'm done talking.
Listen to me! You had the doctor on the ropes, and you lost him. You know you did. Howard was sweet as hell with his Dawson the Protector Act, and now you're gonna trash Kendrick to make it look like you're doing your job. When you and I both know, and don't pretend that you don't, that it doesn't get you a step nearer to where you need to be.
We've got 2 minutes to the Reverend John. What can I do for you?
Don't put Kendrick on the stand. I need to protect these guys. I cannot allow them to look like clowns up there. Stop now. 3 years apiece.
Are you joking? 4 weeks ago, we were talking about 6 months.
4 weeks ago, your clients pissed on 6 months. 4 weeks ago, your clients wrote a daily feature in the Washington Post, and neither were you. You've only got 2 witnesses, and they're both suspected of murder.
Thanks, Jack.
You got bullied into this room. By everyone. By her, by Dawson. I mean, I practically dared you. You got bullied into this room, even though not for a second have you thought you could win. You got bullied into this room by the memory of a warrior that might have stood a chance.
You're a lousy fucking softball player, Jack.
Your guys are going down, and I can't stop it anymore.
Defense calls Lieutenant Jonathan James Kendrick.
Call Lieutenant Kendrick.
Lieutenant Kendrick, have you previously been sworn?
I have.
Please state your full name, rank, and current billet for the record.
Lieutenant Jonathan James Kendrick, Executive Officer, Rifle Security Company, Windward, Nav Base, Guantanamo Bay.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You may have a seat.
Lieutenant, in your opinion, was Private Santiago a good Marine?
I'd say it was about average.
Lieutenant, you co-signed 3 fitness reports on Santiago. On all 3 reports, you indicated a rating of below average.
Yes, Private Santiago was below average. I didn't see the need to trample on a man's grave.
We appreciate that, but you're under oath now, and I think unpleasant as it may be, we'd all just as soon hear the truth.
I'm aware of my oath.
On your left shoulder is a patch. Would you tell us what that patch says?
Unit, corps, guard, country!
What does that slogan mean?
It's our order of priorities. It's our code.
Would Private Santiago be as likely to adhere to that code as someone who received a rating of exceptional?
No, he would not.
Lieutenant, these are the last 3 fitness reports you signed for Lance Corporal Dawson and PFC Downey. Private Downey received 3 straight marks of exceptional. Lance Corporal Dawson received 2 marks of exceptional, but on the most recent report, dated June 9th of this year, he received an overall rating of below average. It's this last report that I'd like to discuss for a moment, sir.
That's fine.
Lance Corporal Dawson's ranking after infantry training school was 4.0. Records indicate that well over half that class has since been promoted to full corporal, while Dawson has remained a lance corporal. Was Dawson's promotion held up because of his grade on this last fitness report?
I'm sure it was.
Lieutenant, do you recall why Dawson was given such a poor grade on this report?
I'm sure I don't. I have many men in my charge, Lieutenant. I write many fitness reports.
Do you recall an incident involving a PFC Curtis Barnes who'd been found stealing liquor from the officers' club?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. I recall thinking very highly of Private Barnes and not wanting to see his record tarnished by a formal charge.
You preferred instead to handle it within the unit.
Object.
I remind the court that Lieutenant Kendrick is appearing as an adverse witness, and that the rules of cross and not direct examination apply.
Overruled.
Any real leader will tell you that the best way to handle a low-level problem is to let those on a low level handle it. Lieutenant, did you order Corporal Dawson and 2 other men to make sure that Private Barnes received no food or drink except water for a period of 10 days?
That is a distortion of the truth. Private Barnes was placed on barracks restriction and given water and vitamin supplement. I assure you that at no point in time was his health in danger.
Please the court. The government objects to this entire line of questioning as argumentative and irrelevant badgering of the witness.
Lieutenant, I would remind you that you are presently questioning a Marine officer with an impeccable service record.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm overruling your objection. May continue this line of questioning.
Lieutenant, you said that you prefer to handle these situations within the unit rather than going through what this court might consider to be proper authorities. Is that right?
I beg your pardon?
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Proper authorities?
Yes.
I have 2 books by my bedside, Lieutenant. The Marine Code of Conduct and the King James Bible. The only proper authorities I'm aware of are my commanding officer, Colonel Nathan Roy Jessup, and the Lord our God.
Lieutenant, at your request, I can ask that the record reflect your lack of recognition of this court as a proper authority.
Move to strike.
I would advise you against testing the limits of my patience.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant, the sort of disciplinary action that you preferred in the matter of Curtis Barnes, is there a name for it?
It's called the Code Red, and it works. It's the business of no one but the members of Rifle Security Company.
Well, we've got that straightened out.
Well, I certainly hope so.
Would a Marine with an overall rating of exceptional know what a Code Red is?
Yes, he sure would.
Let me ask you this, Lieutenant. Was Lance Corporal Dawson given a rating of below average because you learned he was sneaking food to Private Barnes?
Lance Corporal Dawson was found to be below average because he committed a crime.
What crime did
he disobeyed?
Lieutenant Kendrick, what crime did Dawson commit?
He disobeyed an order.
He disobeyed an order that you gave for Private Barnes to receive a Code Red.
Yes.
And because he did, because he exercised his conscience, because he made a decision, he was punished. Is that right? Lieutenant?
No, because he disobeyed an order.
Yeah, but it wasn't a real order, was it? After After all, it's peacetime. He wasn't being asked to secure a hill or radio for battalion aid or advance on a beachhead. I mean, surely a Marine with Dawson's outstanding service record can be trusted to determine on his own which orders are the really important orders and which orders might say be illegal.
No, it wasn't Corporal Dawson's prerogative.
A lesson he learned after the Curtis Barnes incident, am I right?
I should think so.
You know so, don't you?
Object!
Withdrawn. No more questions.
Lieutenant Kendrick, on the evening of 7 July, did you have a meeting with the members of 2nd Platoon?
Yes, I did.
What did you tell them at that meeting, Lieutenant?
That Private Santiago was being transferred off the base at 0200 hours and that he was not to be touched.
Thank you, Lieutenant. No further questions.
You may step down, Lieutenant Kendrick.
Anyone want some coffee?
We got the tower chief's log from Guantanamo.
And?
Nothing. The first plane off the base was at 2 that morning, the flight Jessup booked him on.
Damn!
We're okay. We did a job on Kendrick.
I wanted Jessup.
Jessup's not our job. The order came from Kendrick. The cover-up's not our job. Someone else will go after Jessup.
Nobody's gonna go after Jessup.
Dawson and Downey, Joe. We work for Dawson and Downey.
Right, all right, okay. You remember the order of the questions?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
And you'll use small words?
Yes.
He gets rattled when he doesn't understand something.
We're all set, all right?
When he doesn't understand something, he thinks he's in trouble.
Joe.
I'm just saying go slow.
I'm gonna go slow.
All right. And get him off as fast as you can.
Joanne.
Okay.
Right. I think we might win. Downey comes through, and then Dawson. I think we might win.
We are. We're gonna win. Make sure to make lots of eye contact so that, okay, right, you want some coffee?
Yes, please.
Okay.
You can't have any, though.
I'm just lit. I'm juiced.
You're wired.
Sam, you want some coffee?
I'll take a yoo-hoo.
You're gonna have a yoo-hoo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want a yoo-hoo. What's the big deal? I mean, he asks for a yoo-hoo, and it's like he's asking for the correct time. I ask for a yoo-hoo, and what, the world's coming to an end? You know what? I'll get myself a yoo-hoo, okay? Can we drop it now? I want a yoo-hoo.
Sam,
I'm fine. I think we're going to win.
We were taken into custody by the military police and then taken to the brig.
Private Downey, this is my last question for you. Why did you give PFC Santiago a code red on the evening of July 7th?
The code red was ordered by the executive officer, sir. Lieutenant Kendrick, sir.
Thank you very much.
Private, for the week of 2 July, the switch log has you at post 39, is that correct?
I'm sure it is, sir. They keep that log pretty good.
How far is post 39 from Windward Barracks?
It's a ways, sir. It's a hike.
How far by jeep? How many minutes would you say?
About 15, 20 minutes by jeep, sir.
You ever had to walk it?
Yes, sir. That week, sir. Friday. I was DDL, the pickup private. Sir, that's what we call the fellow who picks us up at our post and drops us off. Also, because he can get girls in New York. The pickup private got a flat right at 39. He pulled up and blam, a blowout. No spare. The two of us had to double time it back to the barracks.
And if it's 15 or 20 minutes by jeep, it must be a good hour on foot. Am I close?
Me and pickup did it in 45 flat, sir.
Not bad. And you say your assault on Santiago was the result of an order that Lieutenant Kendrick gave at a staff meeting at 16:20 hours?
Sir?
You testified that the meeting where Lieutenant Kendrick ordered Santiago to receive a code red took place at 16:20 hours, 20 minutes after your squad was relieved on the fence line. But you just said you never made it back to Windward Barracks until 16:45.
No, sir. You see, there was a flat tire.
Private! Were you at the meeting?
Sir?
Were you at the meeting that Lieutenant Kendrick held with the members of 2nd Platoon Delta?
No, sir, you see, there was a flat
You've
tire.
never heard Lieutenant Kendrick say, give Santiago a code red.
It was a flat tire.
Did Corporal Dawson order you to give Santiago a code red?
Please, the court, I'd like to request a recess to confer with my client.
I'd like an answer to my question.
The witness has rights.
The witness has been read his rights, Commander.
Ma'am?
The question will be repeated.
Ma'am!
Did Corporal Dawson order you to give Santiago a code red?
We had... Sir, I didn't...
Direct your client to answer the question.
We did it in 45 flat, sir.
The court must grant the defense a recess.
Lieutenant, please direct your client to answer the question.
Private Downey is my client, and I'm addressing the court.
It was a code red!
Lieutenant, please handle your client.
Private, answer the lieutenant's question.
Yes, Lieutenant! I was given an order by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson of the U.S. Marine Corps, and I followed it!
What you gonna do when you get back? What you gonna do when you get back? Take a shower and hit the rack. Take a shower and hit the rack. Oh no, not me. Oh no, not us. What we gonna do when we get back? Polished up for sneak attack.
What do you say? We'll give Downey involuntary. He'll do 7 years. Dawson will have to plead guilty to the higher court, 12 to 15. He wants an answer tonight. What do you want me to say? That no lawyer in the world would have thought to check out something like that? I would have. He would have.
Then why didn't you?
Because I trusted you! 2 guys who were going to do 6 months are now going away for 2 decades between them because I trusted you. But that was today. That was before I talked to Ross. Did you tell Aunt Ginny about your track record? Did you tell her that you've gone into court 6 times in your life and that you lost each time? Your passion is compelling, Joe. It's also useless. Because today, Loudon Downey needed a trial lawyer. Anyway, that's that.
I still think we can win. I think you're just using what happened today as an excuse to give up. I think you're afraid of Jessup, Danny. And I think you're just destined to be a victim of your own fear. But what the hell? You still get the steak knives.
Get the fuck out. Stop cleaning up. Sam, stop cleaning up. You think if we'd been able to find Markinson, it would have made a difference?
No. I don't know, Danny. I mean, who knows what Markinson knew? I mean, maybe he was just a coward with a conscience.
You want a drink?
Yeah.
Is your father proud of you?
Don't do this to yourself, Davy.
Is he? Is he very proud of you?
Sure.
I'll bet he is. I'll bet your dad bores the shit out of the neighbors, guys he works with, aunts, uncles. Sam made law review. Sam's got a big case he's making. He's arguing. He's making an argument. I think my father would have enjoyed seeing me graduate from law school. I think he would have liked that an awful lot. I'm very angry about that, Sam.
I know you
I have to call Ross. I said I'd call him at home before midnight.
Give me his number. I'll give him a call, all right?
It's in my book, in my briefcase.
Shit. Oh, I cut myself on your damn tag.
God, I forgot to take it off.
Give me his number. I'll give him a call. Danny.
Galls me.
What?
It galls me.
I can't hear you.
It galls me.
Yeah, look, hey, we gotta call Ross.
Call him. Tell him thanks a lot, but no deal. Tell him I'm requesting a 24-hour continuance to subpoena Colonel Jessup.
What?
I've been going after the wrong guy.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember when we flew back from Cuba?
It was around 6.
Do you remember our flight code?
Okay, why would I remember that?
AF-40. Doesn't have any windows, but it flies.
Okay, yes, I remember that.
Do you remember the wrong logbook they sent Joe? The one that galled her? The Tower Chief's log from Andrews?
Yes, AF-40, AF-40 MAM.
M-A-M. Matthew A. Markinson. Coward with a conscience. Why it took me 5 weeks to figure it out is beyond me. But given time, I'll think of a way to blame it on you. Let's go. I need you to prep me for Jessup, and I need Joe to write the motion for the continuance.
Oh, hold on just a moment. Why don't we just sit down with Ross, all right? If Jessup tampered with evidence, maybe we can get a new deal.
I don't want Jessup on evidence tampering. I want him to say that he ordered the code red. Let's go.
You still need a witness?
I have a witness.
A dead witness.
And in the hands of a lesser attorney, that would be a problem.
You're gonna trip Jessup.
I'm not gonna trip him. I'm gonna lead him right where he's dying to go.
Danny, I don't think you can do it.
I know you don't. Let's go.
Doesn't that mean anything to you?
A great deal. But let me ask you this. What if I'm twice as good as you think I am? What if I'm not some half-assed clown of a Phi Beta Kappa used car salesman?
You still need a window, Danny. He has no weaknesses. He won't let you near him.
He has a weakness.
What?
He thinks he was right. Let's go.
You shoot at Jessup and miss. Randolph will cite. Listen to me! You shoot at Jessup and miss. Randolph will cite you for contempt. And if they decide to teach you a lesson, they'll slap you with a dishonorable discharge, Danny. And that'll be stapled to every job application you ever fill out.
Life's like that sometimes. Let's go.
You're that sure?
Yeah.
Then he's gonna confess?
Yeah, you know why?
No.
Because he has honor. And he has a code. And I'm twice as good as you think I am. Let's go. Say, Sam, you ever hear the story about the lieutenant commander and the colonel?
I believe I have, Danny. It's a story of courage and conviction, is it not?
Right you are, Sam. You see, the lieutenant commander was investigating a crime, and she had a question she wanted the colonel to answer.
Yes, but this colonel is a very intimidating character, so I've heard.
Well, sure, to some people. To some people, he's the stuff of which nightmares are made.
But not to Commander Galloway!
No, sir, because Commander Galloway ain't scared of nothing. She had a question, and she was gonna get an answer. And she was confident. And she was relentless. And she did her job.
What do you want?
I want to talk to you about Lance Corporal Dawson and PFC Donnelly.
Downey.
Downey.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
No, I can't accept that. We braved extraordinary elements to get here. My car ran out of gas halfway up 8th Street. Sam had to walk a quarter of a mile to get help. Anyway, the wife and I were thinking about maybe going into court tomorrow and saving our clients' lives. Maybe sticking some homicidal maniacs behind bars to boot. We thought you might want to come along. What do you say?
I can't seem to defend people.
I'm sorry you feel that way. You're my hero, Joanne. From the first day, you were a lawyer. Live with that.
Defense ready?
Defense calls Colonel Roy Jessup.
Colonel Nathan R. Jessup will take the stand.
Colonel Jessup, have you previously been sworn, sir?
No, I have not.
Please raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this general court-martial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Please state your full name, rank, and current billet for the record, sir.
Colonel Nathan Roy Jessup, Barracks CO, Marine Ground Forces, NAV Base Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Thank you, Colonel. You may have a seat if you like.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
The defense failed to get a deposition from you, so I'm going to break the cardinal rule and ask you questions without knowing the answers.
Seems a little more sporting that way, doesn't it, Lieutenant?
Indeed. When you learned of Private Santiago's letter, did you ask Lieutenant Kendrick to have a meeting with the members of 2nd Platoon?
Yes.
Why?
I felt Santiago's life might be in danger when word of his letter got out. I had Kendrick tell his men not to take matters into their own hands.
And at the time of this meeting, who was your second in command?
The company commander, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Markinson.
And at present, Colonel Markinson is dead, is that right?
Object! I'd like to know exactly what defense counsel is implying.
I'm implying simply that at present, Colonel Markinson is not alive.
Surely Lieutenant Caffey doesn't need the colonel to appear in this courtroom to confirm that information.
I just wasn't sure if the colonel was aware that last week Colonel Markinson took his own life with a .45 caliber pistol.
I am aware.
The witness is aware. The jury is aware. We thank you for bringing this to our attention. Lieutenant, please move on.
Yes, sir. Colonel, at the time of this meeting, when you told Lieutenant Kendrick to tell his men that they were not to take matters into their own hands, you gave Colonel Markinson an instruction as well, is that right?
Indeed. I told Colonel Markinson I wanted the boy transferred off the base immediately.
You felt Santiago was in danger.
Yes.
Grave danger?
Is there any other kind?
When did you learn of Santiago's letter?
Thursday, 7 July.
What time of day?
In the area of 1000.
7 July, 1000. That's when you told Lieutenant Kendrick and Colonel Markinson that Private Santiago's life was in grave danger and that the colonel was to transfer him off the base immediately.
Son, is it me or are we going around in a circle here?
I have a copy of the transporter here. It says Private Santiago is scheduled to be moved out at 0200 the next morning, 16 hours later. Why did Markinson wait 16 hours? Why did Markinson keep a man in danger for 16 hours?
There was no transportation off the base until 0200. The 0200 was the first flight off. Are these really the questions I've been called here to answer?
I'm just trying to determine if it's possible that your instructions to the officers weren't carried out.
Son, have you ever served in an infantry unit?
No, sir.
Have you ever served in a forward area?
No, sir.
Have you ever put your life in another man's hands? Ask that man to put his life in your hands?
No, sir.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die. It's that simple.
Even if that order is illegal?
Object!
Sustained.
Withdrawn.
Boy, I would love to know what in the world qualifies you to pass judgment on us.
Please, sir, I'm not here to pass judgment. The members of the jury are, and they're entitled to the truth.
Is that right?
Do you disagree?
Certainly not in principle. I disagree only in as much as I disagree that a paraplegic is entitled to foxtrot. It'd be nice. It's just not possible.
Are you saying it's not possible for this court to hear the truth?
This court? I don't know what that means. I'm saying it's not possible for you to hear the truth.
Why not, sir?
Object! Your Honor, is this dialogue relevant to anything in particular?
The defendant's commanding officer has just testified that the truth is an unattainable goal. I'd like to know why.
Colonel, you're under no obligation to address this question.
Captain, for the past month, this man has been attempting to put the Marine Corps on trial. I think somebody sure as hell better address this question, otherwise people are liable to start listening to him.
Why is it impossible?
Because you can't handle it. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the sad but historic reality.
What reality are you referring to, Colonel?
We live in a world that has walls. And those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? Ha! You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you could possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. The luxury of the blind. The luxury of not knowing what I know. That Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You can't handle it because, deep down, in places you don't talk about, you want me on that wall. You need me there. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as a backbone to a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I'd prefer you just say thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to.
Well, that's what I get for asking questions without knowing the answers.
Colonel Jessup, the court appreciates your time.
No trouble, Captain. I love Washington. Don't look so glum, Danny. What is it you people say? Live to fight another time?
Excuse me, I didn't ask you to step down.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not through with my examination. I didn't dismiss you. Sit down.
Lieutenant?
Counsel?
I'd like the record to show that the witness got up and walked to the door without being told to step down.
Colonel!
I beg your pardon?
I prefer if he addressed me as Colonel or Sir. I believe I've earned it.
Counsel will address the witness as Colonel or Sir.
What the hell kind of an outfit you running here?
And the witness will address this court as Judge or Your Honor. I'm certain I've earned it. Take your seat, Colonel.
Submit for defense Exhibit A. It's the Tower Chief's log for Naval Air Station, Nav Base, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. It lists incoming and outgoing flights for Thursday, July 7th and Friday, the 8th of July. Is that your signature?
That's my signature.
I draw the court's attention to the fact that between 0600 on Thursday the 7th and 0200 on Friday the 8th, no passenger-capable flights left the base.
Noted.
Noted.
Colonel, at this time, I'd like to tell you that if you'd like a recess to compose your thoughts, or if you'd like to consult with an attorney, we can...
I don't need an attorney.
Yes, sir.
Sir, if I may suggest...
I said I don't need an attorney.
Yes, sir.
Colonel, a moment ago you said that Willie Santiago's death saved lives.
That's right.
Given that, I wonder if you could tell us, sir, are the defendants criminals or heroes? Colonel Jessup?
I don't suppose that's for me to say.
I'm asking your opinion, sir, as a military expert. Criminals or heroes?
They're warriors.
Criminals or heroes, sir?
They're heroes.
Then why in God's name did you go to such trouble to cover up what they've done?
Object!
Why did you fix the logbook?
Object! What the hell's the matter with you? I request that Lieutenant Caffrey's remarks be stricken from the record and the witness excused with the court's highest apologies.
That's it. I've heard enough. The jury is strictly cautioned. Counsel for the defense has made a reckless and irresponsible accusation, not the least bit grounded in any kind of evidence whatsoever. The jury is instructed to disregard his remarks entirely. Lieutenant Cathy, consider yourself in contempt of court. Now then, have you finished with this witness?
No, Your Honor. Submit for defense Exhibit B. It's the Tower Chief's log for Andrews Air Force Base for the evening of July 7th.
It seems that at 9:26 p.m., 21:26, an AF-40 transport landed at Andrews with 94 empty seats, having taken off at 2 minutes past 6 p.m. Its departure point? Colonel? Naval Air Station, Nav Base, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. You know that Kendrick ordered the code red on Santiago because that's what you told Kendrick to do. And Kendrick follows orders or people die. Isn't that right, Colonel? You ordered the code red. And when it went bad, you cut these guys loose. You had Markinson sign a phony transfer order so it looked like you tried to move Santiago. You forged the logbook so it looked like the O-200 was the first flight out. And you told the doctor to say it was poison so it wouldn't look like a code red. You trashed the law. But we understand you're permitted. You have a greater responsibility than we can possibly fathom. You provide us with a blanket of freedom. We live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. And nothing's gonna stand in your way of doing it. Not Willie Santiago, not Dawson and Downey, not 1,000 armies, not the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and not the Constitution of the United States. That's the truth. Isn't it, Colonel? I can handle it.
I did my job. I'd do it again.
You ordered the code red.
Yes.
Say it, Colonel.
I ordered the code red.
Say it again, sir.
I ordered the code red.
Jack? Please the court. I recommend that the jury be excused and we move to an immediate Article 39A session. The witness has rights.
Absolutely. Sergeant of Arms will conduct the jury to an anteroom to await further instruction.
What the hell's going on? Captain, what the hell's going on? I'm not familiar with Article 39A. I did it. Fine. I ordered the code red. Now I'm getting on a plane and going back to my base.
Guard the prisoner.
What?
MPs, guard the prisoner.
I ordered the code red. Everybody's going to pieces like a fucking ladies' auxiliary.
Colonel Jessup, you have the right to remain silent.
Are you charging
Anything
me
you
with a
say
crime?
can and will be used
You're
against
charging
you in
me
a
with
trial
a-
by court-martial
I'm-
or other administrative
Marine.
and judicial proceedings.
Marine.
You have the right to consult with an attorney prior to questioning.
Oh, this is funny.
This may be a civilian
You know what?
attorney
This is
retained
funny.
at no cost to the
I'm gonna
United
tear your
States,
ass right out
or
of
a
the
military
business.
attorney that shall be assigned
Wrong
to
Marine.
you.
The wrong Marine.
Colonel Jessup, do you understand these rights as I have
Let me
read them
tell
to
you something, my friend. These fucking people have no idea how to defend a nation. I'm trying to defend a nation. All you did here today was weaken the country. That's all you did. So you give yourself a pat on the back. You put people in danger. Sweet dreams, son.
Don't call me son. I'm a lawyer and an officer of the United States Navy. And you're under arrest, you son of a bitch. The witness is excused.
On the count of murder in the second degree, the jury finds the defendants not guilty. On the count of conspiracy to commit murder, the jury finds the defendants not guilty. On the count of conduct unbecoming a United States Marine, the jury finds the defendants guilty as charged. Defendants are hereby sentenced by this court to time served in the brig up until this point, and are ordered to be dishonorably discharged from the Marine Corps. This court-martial is adjourned.
In who? Dismissed.
Why?
Harold, I'm
Why? I don't understand.
It's not as bad as it seems.
Colonel Jessup said he ordered the code red.
I know, but it's
Colonel
Dawson said he ordered the code red. What did we do wrong?
Listen.
What did we do wrong?
Ask Dawson. We did nothing wrong.
Sure you did. How?
We did nothing wrong.
A jury just said your conduct was unbecoming a United States Marine. Now what does that mean?
You're the lawyer.
You're the Marine!
Not anymore.
Corporal, what were you supposed to fight for? What were you supposed to fight for?
People who couldn't fight for themselves.
What were you supposed to fight for?
Willie Santiago. We were supposed to fight for Willie.
No more questions.
Caffey, I gotta get these guys down to personnel for some paperwork. Gentlemen?
Harold.
Sir.
You don't need to wear a patch on your arm to have honor.
10 ho! There's an officer on deck. Sir, permission to be dismissed.
You're dismissed.
I didn't know about the Tower Chief log.
People had a case, Jack.
You know, you two really ought to learn to relax a little bit. How about a celebration? I'm buying. Sam? Champagne? You who?
No, thank you. Maybe later. I'm gonna go home and talk to my daughter. I think she's gotta be bilingual by now.
So, what's next for you?
Staff Sergeant Hector Baines. He went to the movies on company time. What about you?
Me? Well, you know, the usual.
Just pretty much generally annoying people.
Yeah. Listen, are you happy right now? Because you have every reason to be happy right now.
I am happy. Thank you very much for asking.
So how about it? You want to get that drink?
I'll catch up with you later. I'm gonna get started on Hector Baines. Stand my post for a while.
You are like 7 of the strangest men I have ever met.
Lift your head and lift it high. Daniel Caffey's passing by.